the investment of character, which is the stuff that really is inside the box. It's why when people do sequels or rip off movies, of a genre, they're ripping off the wrong thing. You're not supposed to rip off the shark or the monster. You got to rip off, if you're going to rip something off, rip off the character, rip off the stuff that matters. Look inside yourself and figure out what is inside you.
Nerderotic.com.
Many of you have come here because of the end of Game of Thrones, and you will know more than most. When you invest into a franchise, it's not how it starts, it's how it ends. And Jar Abrams, being the man in charge of the ending of the Skywalker Saga, is doom for Disney Star Wars. But before I get started, if you like what I do here, please consider subscribing to the channel. YouTube has recently made a change to the algorithm that greatly benefits the major corporations, and independent channels are not getting recommended as much as before. So we rely on you more now than ever. I thank you to all my current subscribers for all the sharing and liking of the videos. It is helping. So please keep it up. If you could do that with your favorite YouTuber as well, I'm sure they would appreciate it as much as I appreciate it. Now, what inspired this video today, not to give you too much inside baseball, was an article I was perusing in the gym because it was kind of a slow news day and I didn't feel like doing a video on the Mark Hamill tweet. But Star Wars J.J. Abrams reveals why Palpatine returns for the Rise of Skywalker from comicbook.com caught my eye. Did it catch my eye because I thought they would really reveal why? Of course not, because these trash websites just copy and paste articles from other major news sources that are just as access media as they are. But of course, it's clickbait because they don't really tell you why. They give you J.J. Abrams' motivation, and within reading about that motivation, it got me thinking about his mystery box video for TED Talks. So while I was doing my research and rewatching that video for about the 5th or 6th time, because it really does reveal a lot about J.J. Abrams, within that I understood why J.J. Abrams is the wrong person for this job because of his unwillingness to keep his own messages out of somebody else's story. And I will use this clip to represent why.
Like Star Wars, you got the droids, they meet the mysterious woman. Who's that? We don't know. Mystery box, Then you meet Luke Skywalker, he gets the droid, you see the holographic image, you learn, oh, it's a message, she wants to, find Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's her only hope. But who the hell is Obi-Wan Kenobi? Mystery box.
Star Wars is the most basic form of storytelling, done to perfection in the original trilogy. It's the hero's journey. It's good versus evil. It is not mystery box.
The original concept really related to a father and a son and twins. A son and a daughter. And it was that relationship that was the core of the story.
Mystery Box relies heavily on the unreliable narrator and some sort of shocking revelation towards the end of the film. So it doesn't give you a lot of time to think about the revelation. It just gives you the revelation. And you're walking out of your theater or you're finished watching your TV show thinking you watched something profound when you just got shocked because your expectations were subverted. But considering we're all expecting a dumpster fire, I don't think our expectations are going to get subverted this time, but it doesn't mean they're not going to try. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker will bring the Skywalker Saga to a close. God, I'm tired of that. When it releases in December, the film, the 9th in the saga, will also bring back Darth Sidious, aka Galactic Emperor Sheev Palpatine. I've always hated that first name. It sounds like Maury Palpatine. The original Star Wars Big Bad. Some fans are skeptical of the decision to resurrect Palpatine. You damn right. Skeptical. It's a terrible decision. It undoes everything that Luke Skywalker and Anakin sacrificed. Director Jar Abrams, returning to the franchise after directing Star Wars The Force Awakens, says bringing back Palpatine was a way of tying the entire saga together. No. It is a course correction. It is a very cheap and desperate attempt to get some of the older fans back that this franchise, that Disney has alienated. And it's a complete insult to the fans, and we'll get into that later in the video. Some people feel like we shouldn't revisit the idea of Palpatine, and I completely understand that. That's such Hollywood speak. I completely understand how you feel, but I'm going to do the exact opposite while shaking your hand and smiling at your face while I plunge the dagger in your back the second you turn around. Abrams says in an interview with Empire magazine, but if you're looking at the 9 films as one story, hard stop right there. You want to talk about subverted expectations? This article came out on September 30th, 2019, after the Bob Iger revelations that they betrayed George Lucas, and Jar Jar Abrams was one of the people who did that. You could sell me on this being a cohesive story if you would have kept his original treatments for 7 through 9, but instead you canned them, and now you ended up needing them. So I'm guessing they pulled those directly out of the trash and tried to salvage what they could of their crap story. I don't know many books where the last few chapters have nothing to do with those that have come before. If you look at the first 8 films, all the setups of what we're in 9 are there in plain view. So, episodes 1 through 6 and those crap 7 and 8 were just setups for episode 9. The gall of this guy, the man who threw away George Lucas's treatments.
They're ripping off the wrong thing. You're not supposed to rip off the shark.
I'm very sorry to inform you, Jar Jar Abrams and Disney Star Wars, you are the shark of this tale, and resurrecting Palpatine is the ultimate insult to the fans who have invested so much time, money, heart, and passion into your franchise. It's a slap in the face because, like many have said before, this undoes everything Luke and Anakin sacrificed in that story, and you are going to have a Game of Thrones Season 8 level collapse on your hands. He was there in the beginning as the senator representing Naboo in the Galactic Senate during the prequel trilogy. He ruled the galaxy as emperor in the original trilogy. What role he plays in the final chapter remains to be seen because there has been absolutely no mention of him whatsoever. A good mystery in storytelling is usually preceded by foreshadowing or some clues because you had a roadmap from the beginning. This is obviously going to be shoehorned in using some sort of one-off comment from the original trilogy or the prequels, and it's going to look like exactly what it is. A retcon within a course correction wrapped around directionless storytelling, otherwise known as a mystery box. Abrams' return to direct follows Rian Johnson's work on Star Wars The Last Jedi. Johnson's film proved divisive because he chose not to take dangling plot threads from The Force Awakens in their most obvious directions, including in regards to the mystery box of Rey's parents. Johnson has said that he's okay with Abrams doing similar things with the story of The Last Jedi, and in fact, he kind of hopes he does. In other words, these guys just tried to do the easiest thing they could because these guys are so high on their own BS. When they cut corners, they think they're actually being genius. And I'm talking about Rian Johnson and Jar Jar Abrams. But what it essentially is laziness. Now, this is partially due to the unrealistic timetable that Disney Star Wars has put on them. Remember, George took 3 years between the prequels and the original trilogy, and I don't mean to apply the word laziness to the set designers, makeup artists, special effects artists, the key grips, to all the people working there. I recently just visited the set of the Orville down at Fox Studios, and I saw firsthand how hard those people work. I understand it. They work their asses off. They also get paid well. But Jar Jar Abrams and Rian Johnson cut corners because that's what subverting expectations is. And if you don't think Jar Jar Abrams and Rian Johnson are absolutely hooked on the gimmick of subverting expectations, listen to this. I've had a couple of conversations with Abrams, but I've actually really enjoyed sitting back waiting to get my popcorn opening day and see how the thing turns out. I cannot wait, Johnson said at CinemaCon. Like I said, I want to let go of all my expectations. I want to sit back. I want to be entertained. I want to be surprised. I want to be thrilled. I want him to do stuff that I wasn't expecting him to do and just go along for the ride. For me, that's why I go to the movies.
I realized that mystery is the catalyst for imagination. Now, it's not the most groundbreaking idea, but when I started to think that maybe there are times when mystery is more important than knowledge.
And I get it. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. And that certainly applies to films like The Usual Suspects, Ronin, and Pulp Fiction, but it does not apply to Star Wars. Star Wars is about the destination of our heroes, Han, Luke, and Leia, and you are sacrificing that destination so you can make one last-ditch effort to prop up Rey, Finn, and Poe, characters we know nothing about. And we know little to nothing about the First Order. There is an 8-minute scene in Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers where we learn more information than the entirety of the new Disney Star Wars trilogy. Within, again, 8 minutes, we learn Saruman's time frame to attack a country called Rohan. We learn where he gets his resources. We learn where he gets his men, or his orcs. We are introduced to 5 new characters: Theodred, Eowyn, Eomer, King Theoden, and Grima Wormtongue, and we are given all of their motivations, again, within 8 minutes. And I know I used this sound clip in my Lord of the Rings video, but I want to bring it up one more time because it really applies here.
We didn't want to put any of our own, and certainly in terms of the thematic material, we didn't want to put any of our own baggage. I mean, we had no interest in putting our messages into this movie, but we thought that we should honor Tolkien by putting his messages into it.
And that's the betrayal within the storytelling and behind the scenes to George Lucas and the fans with Disney Star Wars. Woke Star Wars. That was the priority. There was no plan beyond that, and there's nothing they can say or do to convince me otherwise. They did not plan on having Palpatine come in at the end. Maybe George Lucas did, and maybe they pulled his scripts out of the trash, like I said before, but that was nowhere near what they were talking about at the beginning of this trilogy. It was pretty clear they were making stuff up as they went. As long as they got their woke agenda in there, they were happy, and they thought the fans would just lap it up. But unfortunately, they hired 2 directors who were completely wrong to tell a Star Wars story.
Well, no community is best served when only the elite have control.
And I couldn't agree more with 2007 J.J. Abrams prior to him turning into Jar Jar Abrams. And man, does fortune favor the elite. And look what he has turned into. I understand there were too many cooks in the kitchen on this one. I understand that it's hard to end somebody else's story, but that's why you make the big bucks, Jar Jar Abrams. And it looks like the Rise of Skywalker is going to be the Game of Thrones Season 8 of the Star Wars saga. And there just isn't enough time to put the milk back in the booby. You're not going to fix this one. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, well, thanks for listening this long. I'll see you in the next video.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.